And his name is John C.
What's up YouTube? This is Saul Reaver here with your boy the Beach Ball as well. We're going to play some Rocket League today while discussing the upcoming WWE Summerslam. This is a new thing that we're doing. Each and every pay-per-view that comes up for WWE, we're going to play a different game. While we're at it, we'll have a quick chat about what we've thought of the booking up to that pay-per-view and where we see it going. So without further ado, Beach Ball, let's get cracking with some Rocket League.
Yeah, so we're going to load up a ranked match. We're going to do a 2-on-2 ranked match. Any Rocket League gamers out there from the cars, I'm the green Jurassic Park theme card, or the pink and yellow theme car. I'm a bit more experienced than Saul Reaver. But we'll see how we do in the match. Joe, pre-show, let's talk pre-show. Akira Tozawa versus Neville. Can you see Neville getting that title back?
No, is the honest answer. I think the reason why Tozawa won on Raw is because I think there's going to be quite a few title changes at SummerSlam. So they probably wanted to. Oh, that's a good start. Match cancelled. Maybe that's going to happen. Maybe that's going to happen with Tozawa and Neville at SummerSlam. I can't see it. It just wouldn't make sense. I think the reason why they're doing it as well is Cruiserweight division's getting a bit stale due to the fact that Neville has obviously dominated it, which has been great for him. Excellent to watch because he's a brilliant performer, but he's not got much competition in there. So it will be good for maybe Tozawa to some new peeps.
I can't envision him losing the belt really that quick. New Day versus Usos. Can you believe how good their matches have been that they've been relegated to the pre-show?
Boom. Good score. Yeah, I know it is mental because, to be honest, like when it comes to like the tag team division things, they keep breaking teams up. About the best two teams that there are going in the company at the moment are these two, and yeah, their matches have been fantastic so far. So, but you know, the problem is when you've got a card that's got like 13, 14 matches on it, someone's going to be the sacrifice, and I think unfortunately it's got to be those guys because we've seen it quite recently.
Yeah,
how'd you see it going, by the way, that one?
I mean, I see the New Day retaining.
Yeah, I
the
think
pre-show always the faces always win. That's like the law, isn't it? They want to get the crowd pumped and hyped and stuff.
They've done some tag team title changes on pre-shows before. It's about the only title that does seem to sometimes change hands on the pre-show, but I don't see it this time because they held the Raw titles for so long. They've only just recently won the SmackDown titles. I don't know. I can't see it changing.
Yeah, well, they're the only two tag teams pretty much on. Oh no, it might cost us a goal here. They're only the two legitimate tag teams on SmackDown as well. The Ascension and Breezango. Who else is there? I
mean, out of those, you think the only thing I could see maybe the Usos winning is because obviously when it comes to Breezango, they've had their popularity boosted. They're not going to feud with the New Day because they're clearly going to be face. So, yeah. But it might be that they feud with the Usos without the titles involved. But then, what the hell do you do with the New Day? Oh, who cares? It's only a bloody SmackDown tag division.
Pre-show, unless Ms. Taraj make the move over to SmackDown.
Yes. Speaking of which, do you see them having any chance whatsoever with the push that Jason Jordan's getting at the moment?
No, let's be honest, absolutely no. I mean, the Hardys never lose either, really, do they? Very rarely lose. I think they've only lost like twice in singles and tag competition.
Do you know what? I've had it earmarked that SummerSlam would be when we saw the Hardys go broken, and I think that was the plan until the injuries to
by the way,
the Revival.
We're actually playing against one person. One of the players quit.
Oh, that'll be why we're doing it. Okay.
It's now a handicap match. Yeah, I thought we were doing alright before he quit.
Well, there's none of them on the SummerSlam card just yet, so there we go. That's us breaking ground.
Right. There we go.
So yeah, the Hardys. I thought they were possibly gonna go broken at SummerSlam, but now definitely not. Now that there was that injury. Wow, handicap match, and he's kicking our ass. Superb.
Give him a chance. Give him a chance. I nearly got a save in here. Look.
Excellent defending there.
So go to the main card. What match are you most excited for?
I mean, we'll leave the title matches for now. We'll get to those kind of later. The main event. I would say in terms of kind of the undercard there, I'm actually really looking forward to Alexa Bliss against Sasha Banks. for a long time, obviously, it looked like it was going to be another Bayley match. But the true story in WWE at the moment, if you're keeping up to date on kind of social media and any like legit seeming feuding, is actually between Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss. There's a lot of rumours that these two don't actually like each other in real life. And I genuinely think both of them are really on top of their game at the moment. I was really impressed with Sasha's match against Nia on Raw, on the Go Home Raw.
Yeah, it was good.
It takes a lot to get a superb match out of Nia Jax, and I think Sasha managed it. So for me, momentum-wise, that is the one I'm looking forward to the most. In terms of who's going to win, I think Sasha's going to win, purely for the fact that very soon, whether it's her going heel or maybe someone else, I think we are going to build to Sasha against Bayley, whether that be Survivor Series, whether they save that for WrestleMania. But I think the Sasha title win is coming, and coming soon.
Yep. Sorry, I don't know if you heard me sneeze there. I tried to mute my mic.
I think you managed it. You did well. We haven't conceded a goal in that time either against this one person who's just showing us
he's
right
doing
up.
alright. He's doing alright. This is not looking good for us.
So we've done one women's match. We've previewed that. How about the other one? How do you see Natalya and Naomi going?
I actually think it's going to be a cash-in.
Yes, I
think
agree.
We're going to see the face retain. Obviously, Nene and Natalya's going to beat her down, and then we're going to hear the FAB music come out.
Yeah.
And I just hope, for the sake of the women's division, that James Ellsworth isn't like involved in the cash-in, if you know what I mean.
Oh.
Like he was getting the briefcase down, because it would just be another slap in the face for the women's revolution.
Yeah, I can't disagree. I can't disagree with any of that.
Cash-in.
Yeah, I think that's
it'd be better if he
right.
stood on top of the ramp, maybe.
I think he'll be there. Like, yeah, he'll probably be at the side cheering her on. Like, she'll probably go for like a near fall, and Naomi will kick out, and he'll be shown like being really shocked on the side. But yeah, I think she will do it by herself, with a prone Naomi. But yes, I agree. I think that cash-in's coming. I think that's one of the reasons why we saw that whole Baron Corbin thing happen on SmackDown, because I think Money in the Bank. To be honest with you, I kind of feel like WWE are done with Money in the Bank, but they like having the pay-per-view with it and the match. It's just the concept they're done with, because it is a bit restricting. So I think they'll get rid of it.
Flipping out.
Yeah, I know, right? I think they'll get rid of it relatively quick. I don't think she's going to hold on to it much longer. So SummerSlam makes sense.
Do you know? We'll talk about the Baron Corbin John Cena match, but do you know why? I legitimately think they've done the Baron Corbin cash-in.
Go for it.
To help Nakamura, because if Nakamura wins the belt, the crowd aren't going to be hyped. They'll be waiting for the cash-in.
Yeah. If
the briefcase was live, now the briefcase is dead and Nakamura wins, people are going to go absolutely crazy for it. So, I think it will aid Nakamura.
There is, there's one way I think about that. We'll get to that title match and our predictions for that, obviously, in due course.
But obviously, it could be a punishment for Corbin.
Yeah,
he's not beating Cena. There's no way he's beating Cena.
No, and we might as well talk about that one now. Yes, I agree. Cena is definitely going to win. They've already been talking about, John Cena's due a win at SummerSlam, because he hasn't. Apparently, his record is pretty bad. So they're already planting that seed. So yeah, I think Corbin's definitely going to lose. In terms of other reasons, though, I've got to be completely honest with this. There's been a lot of fury about Corbin losing the cash-in, etc., doing it on SmackDown. I actually think it was the right way to go. I know that might sound crazy, but in my opinion, Corbin never should have won the briefcase in the first place. It was too soon for him. He's not good enough on the mic to be a WWE champion, and effectively now, when you do win Money in the Bank, it more or less does mean that you're going to be the next title holder, and he wasn't ready for that. He needs a good feud. He needs potentially like a mid-card title run to see how he goes with that. It was just too much too soon.
I think we're a bit of a one-man team there, Joe.
Yeah, possibly, maybe.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Corbin, he talks like this on the mic, and we've already got Jinder Mahal doing that. So
and the things that he says as well are just so generic heel.
His comebacks,
his
comebacks are dreadful.
Yeah,
when the guy went, "Oh, you shouldn't be a wrestler, or you shouldn't have won Money in the Bank," and he replied and said, "Oh, have you starred in movies? You shouldn't be movies. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, it's just dreadful comebacks and stuff.
The thing is, he has improved so
paying
much
money.
in the ring, and it's a shame that this has happened to him in this manner. But I think he's suffering from the fact that they booked him to win Money in the Bank when they really shouldn't have in the first place. But we'll see where it goes.
For me, he should have been a heavy
in
a stable first.
Yeah, maybe.
If he was a heavy in a stable,
or even just
might have got a bit more.
Do you know what? If he'd have done better in his match with Nakamura, then perhaps we might be singing a different tune. But that was really his chance to show that he can hang at the elite level, and I don't think it's quite there yet.
Absolutely.
Okay, so moving on from those guys, let's talk about another match where, for me, I think there's an obvious winner. We'll see your thoughts, but Rusev, Randy Orton, what's going on there?
Well, Randy Orton's terrible win rate at SummerSlam. The last time he hasn't won a legitimate match in years. The last time he actually won something was when he won the belt against Bryan. But in terms of legitimate booked matches, he hasn't won one in absolute years. I don't know. Did he? No, he didn't win last year's, did he? Because he got battered by Lesnar. I think it's going to be Orton. I think Rusev doesn't even care if he wins or loses, really. I think Orton, they'll be saying, "Oh, don't worry, we'll give you a win at SummerSlam."
Well, this is the thing.
They still think that Randy Orton's a massive draw.
They do, and he's coming off the back of this, losing feud against Jinder Mahal for the fucking title. So, he's going to be wanting a victory soon. And Rusev is like the go-to guy when you want a heel to lose to a face. So, yeah, only one way that's going. In my opinion, it is because he's fantastic. Excellent. Rusev deserves a lot better, but unfortunately, that's the situation we find ourselves in. So that, for me, is what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, with Randy Orton, they seem to do bartering with his wins and losses. They'll say to him, "Oh, do this favour for us."
Yeah, take the beating from Brock.
And we'll give you this. We'll put you in the We'll let you win the Rumble. You'll be involved in a title match at Mania. And I think they've gone, "Oh, help us put Jinder over." And in fairness to him, he put in a great shift putting Jinder over. And we'll give you a SummerSlam win, or we'll do this, we'll do this, we'll do this. It's just so annoying. But yeah, I think that's a lock. If ever seen one this weekend.
Boom, and there's a goal.
And
Big Show, Big Cass. I've got quite a prediction for this one, but let's see what you think of this one.
I think we'll probably be quite similar. And I mean, I hope it doesn't happen. But an Enzo heel turn seems to be everyone's hot topic at the minute. Obviously, he's going to be in the shark cage. Is he going to maybe pass down his microphone? The schwanky microphone that he does his promos. Is he going to have that and pass it down to Cass to use to beat? Oh, I got exploded. To beat Big Show. I mean, Cass isn't losing this one, surely. What sort of monster heel loses their first pay-per-view match?
Exactly. And I think
Ellis.
when it comes to Enzo, the logic behind it, a lot of people saying that perhaps all of this news we've been hearing about the heat that he's got in the locker room, etc., is a lot of that actually designed to make it so that when he turns heel, he's got something to talk about. Say I got shunned by everybody, so he's either gonna go 205 live as a heel, or he's maybe feud with Akira Tozawa, or realign with Cass, because they've split up all these bloody tag teams. Maybe this is just a long convoluted way of turning Enzo and Cass into a heel tag team. If I'm being completely honest, I actually think we're going to see an alternative heel turn here. I'm going to predict that it's the Big Show that is going to turn heel on Enzo on this, and he's going to. It is, and I think he's going to start mentoring Big Cass. I genuinely, I can see him mentoring Big Cass, not as a tag team, because I think they want Cass to be a breakout single star now, and aligning him with the Big Show helping Big Cass. I can see it.
Yeah, I mean that's not a bad shout, but I mean hate to say it, I just think it's going to end up being Cass beating the hell out of both Big Show and Enzo.
That's possible.
And then that's it. That's like their big. But they've spent all this money on that shark cage. They're determined to get their money's worth, aren't they?
Yep.
The third shark cage match in. I don't remember any shark cage matches when we were younger in the Attitude Era and stuff. No. I think there was one. I don't remember. When was the first one you remember?
Oh, God, I think the one I saw on NXT was possibly. Oh, I can't miss this. I can't miss this. For God's sake.
Paul Ellering. You've doubled your score from last game though. You're on 40 points now, mate. So
superb.
Let's look at the card. Match I'm looking forward to. I mean, obviously you know I'm a big Finn Balor fan, and I'm absolutely sick and tired of Bray Wyatt. I mean, I like the idea of these two feuding, and I actually like the idea of these two maybe teaming up. Obviously that's a long shot, isn't it? But is this a lock? Because the Demon never loses is supposedly the
well, I mean,
gonna go.
do you know what it was? I was really frustrated on the Go Home Raw, where it was a case that they hinted, not even a hint, it was, you know, he basically said on the microphone, the Demon's coming to SummerSlam, and then it came up with a graphic showing it was Demon Finn Balor taking on Bray Wyatt. It's like, just, you know, we all know it's going to happen, but just give us that tiny little bit of excitement when it does happen. Now, we all know it's happening.
Do you know why? They got merch to sell, Joe, alright? They've got Demon merch to sell. Yeah. Which I imagine probably sells quite well considering the amount it costs. So yeah, I think that's a lock, isn't it?
It's got to be.
Absolute lock.
Yeah. So sorry, Bray, another loss for you.
Just a terrible feud, isn't it? Just an absolute.
It's a nothing feud. I mean, that whole thing with like you know the drenching him in blood, but then not calling it blood. What did they say? It was like some kind of like acidic liquid or something. It was, I don't know.
Ugh. Let's go to a title match, and we've done. This is a big one, really. Should be the main event. AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens. Who thought we'd ever be sick of a feud between these two?
It's just not. It's just not caught fire, has it? At any point?
No. Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy because this is like a dream match, like 2-3 years ago, isn't it? Really, it's like a dream match. But unfortunately, it isn't. It's just we're just sick of it, and the botch finishes, and the matches not being that good. I hate to say it, but Styles hasn't been in a good pay-per-view match in ages. You know, since Cena, really, or maybe the Elimination Chamber, I suppose you could say, but it's been dreadful. I mean, surely Styles retains. Now they've got rid of this Face of America thing for Owens as well. That, for me, is the giveaway. Now they've got rid of the Titantron for the Owens being the Face of America.
And also, you know, I think if we look at like where this is leading to, and the whole point of Shane McMahon being in the match, we're leading to Shane against Kevin Owens. We're not going to be leading to Shane against AJ Styles again, are we? So, you know, that's got to be what's coming. Oh God, well, that's what we've got to be coming out of this. So for me, yeah, it's clear and present that Styles is going to win, and it's probably going to be down to a mistake by Shane, leading for even further reason for Shane and Kevin Owens to have a match, possibly at Survivor Series.
Nice save, Joe. Well done.
Cheers, mate. So also on the undercard now,
getting into the good stuff.
Yeah, we've only got really the only last undercard match, which is the tag team titles on Raw. The newly reformed, what are we calling this? Shield 2 out of 3. Seth and Dean Ambrose against Sheamus and Cesaro. What's happening there?
I mean, they can't have the Shield lose if they.
Well,
they can't lose.
You say that,
so
but what I'm hearing potentially is they do, because Dean Ambrose turns heel on Seth.
No, I think that it's just been teased for so long. I just can't see it happening.
It would be a real shame if it did, but if they're looking to. It'll be typical WWE, wouldn't it, to think like, how can we, you know, really get venomous hate towards him straight away as a heel? Well, you know, let's reform the Shield, and then on the first night of it being reformed, him turn on him straight away. It would get the crowd pissed off. It would get them legitimately annoyed. Yeah. So I wouldn't be too shocked. I just think
it just ruins the whole arc of the Shield as well.
It does, but
because go on, Joe.
Oh, yes.
Go on. I mean. It'd be hilarious if Seth Rollins does it. Yeah, I just think it's going to be straightforward. They'll struggle to team up to begin with, but then it'll all click into place, and then the Shield will win, because I think Sheamus and Cesaro have got something that, you know, they've said, look, we don't want to be tag team wrestlers, and they've said, all right, we've given you this run for a long time now. You're going to lose against like the best tag team there could possibly be. So I think that's sort of the way they're going to go with that, because Sheamus and Cesaro, I think we can all agree, are great together now.
Yes, they are. Yeah.
They should be main eventing. Well, Cesaro should be given that push finally, and you know, Sheamus is a multi-time world champion. Shouldn't really, in theory, be where he is. So I think that's the way it's going to go. That's a good one to see, though. It's one I'm not sure about. I've avoided all sort of betting odds.
Well,
stuff,
I mean, so. I've obviously given that theory as to with Dean Ambrose, but that's not actually the way I do think it is going to go. I have a more convoluted idea of what's happening here. and we'll get to that. But what I'll say is I think you're right that Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose will win the match. But then I have reasoning for that. I mean, should we go to the Raw main event so I can explain my theory?
Oh yeah.
So
how long have I been how long have I been saying that should be the main event? I've been buzzing for these four to get into them. Said it should have it's going to be great. Obviously we'll carry on with your arc here, so Seth Rollins and Ambrose.
So I believe they are going to win the tag team titles cleanly as faces, cheering. Everyone is going to be delighted. I then think in the main event, Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, Samoa Joe, Braun Strowman. Hate to say this, YouTube, sorry to say it, guys, but I think Roman Reigns is winning this match. And the reason why I think he's winning it is I think Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins are going to help him. I think we are getting a full-on Shield reunion of sorts. I don't think they're going to go back to being in triple team matches together and things like that, but I think they are going to align themselves with each other again. Not sure at this stage as to whether they might even do that as faces, or perhaps it'll be like a full-on heel turn that they'll come out and screw Brock Lesnar. But in any case, that's the way I think it's going. I think Roman is winning, and I think his old Shield buddies are going to be responsible for helping him.
I mean, it'd be very, very cool. But the only thing is if the Shield do unite, and I mean, there'll be a faction rather than a just hanging out there. Who are they going to fight?
Well, this is
my
reasoning, and I think it will be more like, you know, when we've had kind of the rejuvenated D-Generation X and things like that, that they're not actually going to be taking on kind of a trio of other superstars or anything like that. I think they'll, you know, Seth and Dean will have their own feuds in the tag division. I think Roman will have his own feuds in the main event. This is why I think they could even potentially stay as faces, but it could be just that they're faces that, you know, on occasion will help each other out and stuff when needed, and we'll have kind of backstage interaction. I don't think it will be a full-on trip, you know, all the time, but they will be together then for Survivor Series. So when there's a multi-man match, you'll have the Shield and two other people against another group, because you know they're all on the same brand on Raw. When Survivor Series comes round, they're gonna be on the same team. And this is a way of segueing into that, because you know we know now every pay-per-view, every show, WWE always thinking ahead, and I think now they're thinking of Survivor Series and getting the three Shield members on the same page. And if I'm honest, I think the Universal title.
Are they thinking ahead?
I think they are, and I think the Universal title with the tag titles, those three red belts, that would be quite a cool image to see all three of them being held up to close the show.
But they're saying as well that Survivor Series isn't going to be Raw versus SmackDown. It will be inter-brand this year. I mean, they're not all saying that, but so yeah, we're going to have Owens versus McMahon, and then I guess maybe Shield versus whoever.
Shield and two others, yeah. Who knows? But yeah, just the theory. Who've you got going over in this match? I'm sure you've probably got a different idea.
I've got Lesnar retaining. They just keep talking about he's going to leave WWE. He's going to leave WWE. I don't think they would mention that if he was going to leave, because it doesn't sell tickets, unfortunately.
Will John Bones Jones be in attendance at SummerSlam? Do you think he'll be in the crowd?
No, I don't think so.
Well, pause water on that.
When have they ever cross-promoted Lesnar? They never, ever, ever talk about him as a former UFC champion. There will sometimes maybe a throwaway comment. They never cross-promote. Vince McMahon hates the UFC. He sees them as a competitor. Hence why in their non-compete clauses, the UFC is listed as one of the companies that they can't go to. Just makes no sense, unless there's a big financial gain for those superstars. For me, Lesnar retains, and I don't know. I'd hate it if he does, because I want Strowman to win.
I think we all want Strowman to win. I think everybody wants to see Strowman win, but I don't know. I don't think it's time yet. I think they're going to hold off on that.
Does that close the show, that Fatal 4-Way?
Yes. I think that is the main. I think it has to be. The pre-main event before that, though, probably knowing SummerSlam and how it's been recent years, it's probably going to come about halfway through the card. Jinder Mahal, Shinsuke Nakamura, our last match to discuss.
Yeah.
I mean, do you want to set up another game while we're discussing this last one?
We'll do an exhibition. We'll We'll do an exhibition. We'll do us two versus. Let's go. We'll do an all-star 2-on-2 match.
I've got our little Rick and Morty's now.
You should be. Just Rick, yeah, it looks so good. I'm gonna set it to low gravity as well. That'd be fun. Yeah, I think Shinsuke wins, but I feel like they're still investing a lot of time in Jinder Mahal. Because what throws this one is, if you watch SmackDown opening segment, Jinder, all he talks about is match of John Cena.
Yeah.
If you go to blue team, Joe, at the top.
Cool.
Yeah, all he was talking about was his match against Cena. He wasn't even worried about the Shinsuke match. So maybe Jinder wins, and it's just more buggery from the Singh brothers. I don't know.
I think
we're not
Jinder
seeing
does
the Khali
win.
again. I think they've learnt their lesson.
Yeah, they have. Good goal.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think Jinder does win this. Everyone seems to think it's a foregone conclusion now that Baron Corbin's cashed in Money in the Bank that Nakamura has to be winning, and it would be such typical WWE to then want to pull the rug under people's feet. If I'm being completely honest, I think it's too soon for Nakamura to be winning the main title. He has, only just recently kind of stepped up. He's had one feud with Ziggler really before this, a little mini one with Corbin. I don't know, and I don't think it's going to happen yet. I think they're going to hold off for that big moment for him. How it happens, not really sure. But you're right. It could probably just be typical Jinder cheating. He's certainly not going to go over clean or anything like that. But yeah, I agree. I think walking out of SummerSlam, Jinder is going to remain champion. In regards to what you were saying about the John Cena thing, I think there is a lot of gravity in that as well, because obviously Jinder has in the past, I don't know how many people have picked up on this, but when he's got kind of a theme that they give him that he needs to kind of touch upon, he always seems to bugger up what he's saying.
Rhetoric.
Yeah, and when
when
they were talking about who his opponent was going to be for SummerSlam, he started speaking in Punjabi and said Cena, and then Cena came out as the surprise, and it was just like, wow. And you're right, him
he's
instantly talking about that. I mean, do you know what? Like, at the beginning, I was very much like, oh no, do you know what? Let's give him a go. It's cool seeing something different. But they just haven't done him any favours. I think he has improved a lot in the ring, but you'd be really hard pushed to see somebody now that says, oh well, do you know what? Someone watching wrestling now just first comes into it. They go look at Jinder Mahal, look at his matches, listen to his promos, and say, oh yeah, he's a top level guy. Can see that. It's just not really. It's not really happened for him. But I don't think they're done with the experiment yet. So we'll wait and see. But I don't think
they're only just launching the network, aren't they? So.
Conflicting reports over perhaps they're not too happy with what the Indian sign-ups have been like, and that they think it's kind of failed, but I don't know. I think WWE, they usually jump the shark with these things. They let it drag on too long, and I think this is going to drag on too long. A little bit like this matchup where we're getting absolutely trounced
against the computer with low gravity though, I must say, so it's different. If you jump in the air, Joe, you take ages to land. It's set to ultimate low gravity.
Excellent.
You notice? Just thought I'd try something different. That's pretty much it. Are we going to see any surprise returns? Of course, the Undertaker was seen getting on a plane to New York.
Yeah, I mean,
do you believe he's going to be? He might be in the attendance, but
I mean, I'll throw it out there now.
That's not a coincidence, is it?
No, and I'll throw it out there now. Undertaker's not retired, in my opinion. I know if he really was, I know we did that big ending at WrestleMania. But if he really was retired, we would be getting loads of documentaries and things on him, on his career. We wouldn't keep saying every time Roman Reigns is mentioned that, he's the guy that
he
has possibly retired The Undertaker. The amount of times Michael Cole has said that he, we haven't seen The Undertaker in a long time, it's possible that was his last match. That isn't how they would be talking about it if he really was gone for good. Maybe he's coming back as the American badass.
I feel there'd be a legacy on WWE 2K18.
Yep,
or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
If someone like him retires, they're going to make a huge deal out of it on everything. Whereas, you know, for me, I think their plan here, and you know, I've been saying all along that, you know, the next WrestleMania is back at the site of where he lost the streak. So for me, he's gonna come back for one more match, looking for retribution there, to win the match in the place where he lost the streak. And I think that is what's going to happen, if I'm honest.
So he might cost Reigns, maybe the gong goes and he's on the platform, and
possibly it's either going to
him and gets
yeah, it's either it's going to be something like that. If he is actually involved,
that just
in
sounds
the show.
too romantic. WWE
It does
is not romantic anymore at all.
Perhaps not. I think the
what was
retirement.
the last thing where you've gone? That was great.
I mean, I think the retirement that we saw at WrestleMania was the retirement of the Dead Man gimmick, and now I think we'll get the full retirement of, you know, the Undertaker, the character, possibly at the next WrestleMania, and we'll make more of a deal of it leading into it. But in terms of answering your question there of a last big moment, it's really hard to think of one. I mean, the last moment that really made the crowd pop, I would say, was Jinder Mahal surprisingly winning the title against Orton. But there's a difference between that and a big moment like what you're suggesting. Can you think of any?
No, can't really.
Maybe the Hardys
so
coming back at
Hardy's
coming back at WrestleMania. That was a big,
yeah, I think
big
Hardy's is the
moment.
last old romantic moment.
Yeah.
They got it right. They don't get it right very often, so. Well, I mean, we've pretty much lost this match, Joe. So I'm happy to forfeit if you.
We don't forfeit
If you
around
are.
here. We're like John Cena. We never quit. We never give up.
You can't see us on the pitch. That's why we're like John Cena. You can't see me. Oh, here we go. All right, here's one for you. Will Nakamura Jinder, under Dave Meltzer's rating, get 3-star or more?
No.
This is Nakamura, who's like 5-star machine.
It is Nakamura, but I mean, this is going to be a bit of a problem here, because we all know that the argument that, oh, unless you've been a guy in New Japan, you don't get a massive star rating. But then Nakamura is obviously, like you say, a big favourite of his. But then Jinder is definitely not. So I think middle of the
Do you
round.
know what?
Yeah.
I think 3 stars exact. I'd say.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate got from Dave Meltzer's ratings?
I know they didn't get 5 stars. Was it 4.5?
4.5. Yeah, and I think that's just about right.
You see, I mean, I did. Yeah, you know my
but-
feelings on this. I think that was definitely a 5-star match. But
I think it was superb. It was superb. But WWE, they've not had a 5-star match in ages, have they?
I mean, well, it depends if we're going on Dave Meltzer, if we're going on our own ratings. Because, you know, for me, that was a 5-star match.
Oh no, Dave Meltzer. Unfortunately.
For me, Styles and Cena at the Royal Rumble was a 5-star match. Definitely deserved it.
Yeah, no, it was superb.
But
Was superb. Yeah, I can't remember.
what will be the best
Punk
match
Cena.
of SummerSlam
Punk
in
Cena
terms
was the
of
last one.
not in terms of rating, in terms of like just our enjoyment watching the match and saying that was brilliant? What is going to be the best match of SummerSlam?
Probably Miz Taraj versus no. I think the Fatal 4-Way. I can't look past it. Those 4, other than Brock Lesnar, always deliver fantastic matches. Especially Roman Reigns lately has been superb. Braun Strowman's so entertaining, and how can you deny that Samoa Joe's not like one of the most superb wrestlers right now?
It's all set
I just
up.
think that to be superb,
Thank you.
really, isn't it?
Finishing my sentence. Yeah, it is. It's all set up to be really good. Sometimes that doesn't happen, and it's a surprising match. You know, it could be Naomi Natalia is going to be the first 6-star match in WWE history for Dave Meltzer. We'll have to wait and see on that one.
I can tell you he's not a fan of Naomi, really. So.
We shall wait.
I think he's just.
I'm just spinning on my back right now. Hopefully that's not how I'm going to be feeling at the end of SummerSlam. Just spinning around on my back carelessly. Well, we've lost this one. Hopefully we don't lose out in our enjoyment of SummerSlam. Hope you guys have enjoyed watching us get absolutely battered at Rocket League while we discuss SummerSlam, and we'll be back next time to discuss the next WWE pay-per-view with a brand new game for us to play. Peace out.